So good to be with you again on yet another midweek message. I appreciate the response we're getting to these messages and all the shares they're getting. It's really good to know that we're making an impact for the kingdom. I want to talk to you today about listening to that inner voice. And now some of the wives are thinking, my husband doesn't listen to any voice, never mind the inner voice. I just want to share a secret with you, ladies. Men have got the ability to hear but not to respond, to hear but not to listen. We can go into screensaver mode where the ears are working, we're still breathing, our heart is still beating, but our brain is fast asleep. But I don't want to talk about that. That's a whole nother story. I want to talk about that inner voice. How many times have you been in a situation where you thought, or you've heard something, or you feel something, and you know you should do one thing, but you do another? This has happened to me on countless occasions where I've just done dumb stuff, and I heard that voice saying, don't do it. And often we ignore that inner voice, and we always seem to pay the price, but we never learn. I don't know about you, I must really heed that voice more often. And once we were on our way back from out of Namibia, going through Botswana, on our way back to South Africa. And we had a long haul that day. So we came out of Ngepi, that's where we slept, awesome place. Came out there early in the morning and got to a checkpoint where we had to book in. So what happens is we get off the bikes and we're standing around having a chat, not too concerned. All of us notice this cloud. The cloud looks absolutely pregnant, ready to burst at any moment. Somehow or another, even after discussing this and reasoning about it, we decide we don't need to put on our rain suits. We're on our bikes, by the way. We don't need to put on our rain suits. And I've done that how many times? And I've always regretted the decision because I've always ended up soaking wet. I actually phoned Arnel Huisarm and her and Gil are our riding partners, and I asked, how did we decide not to put on our rain suits? What happened? She answered it like this. She said, Paul, we were plain stupid. That just indicates how heavy this cloud was, and we thought we're boss of the weather. We're going to outride this cloud, the storm that is coming, because you could see it was going to be a heavy storm. We'll just outride it, we'll go around it, or whatever. I don't know what was going through our minds. Now, it was already, because it was early, it was quite cold that day. If they tell you Namibia and Botswana can't get cold, they're lying. You can get really cold there. So we cold, didn't kit up for cold weather really, but we're on our way. Once you're on your bike, and it's such a schlep to like stop and put on more warm clothes and put on your rain suit, because you've got to get it over your boots, and then you're rolling around in the dirt trying to get this pants on, and it looks comical, and I just hate doing it, so I always just ignore the weather and hope I make it. And on this day, we decided not to put our rain suits on, except my wife. V is like, if she thinks there's a chance of rain or there's cold, she's putting on her rain suit. So she was the only clever one amongst us. I thought I was clever. I was about to find out how wrong I could actually be. So we head out, and we weren't far into the trip from there. And those first few drops of rain fall. And you're in this habit of you glance at the weather. No, we're going to be fine. And you know what? When you glance at the weather and you get suddenly hit with a slosh of water, and you got millions of drops pounding into your body all at once, you realize in that moment, I am stupid. I should have put on my rain suit. But it's too late, and within minutes we were soaked. Now, as a biker, you got a sign that this is going to be a bad one. And so usually when you start feeling cold water running down the inside of your body, and it's on its way to a place, you don't want to be wet when you're on a bike, but once it reaches there, you know this is going to be bad, this is going to be horrible, and you're in it. You can't get out of it. It's one of those, like I've explained before, where you got to empty your boots out and wring your gloves out when you stop. So we hit this storm, and man, I cannot believe how much water came down. It flooded that road. Now, this road we were on was unknown to us, and it was washed out. There was potholes. It was just a crazy day. So we've got to go slow because we're in potholes and we've been pounded by rain and wind, and it's cold and you're shivering, and because you're cold, you're gripping the bike, so you're getting spasms in your muscles, and the whole time you're doing this, you're thinking, stupid, why don't you listen? Why didn't you put on your rain suit? But you get to a stage where even your rain suit won't help. Eventually we get to this town in the middle of nowhere. I don't know its name. They had a petrol station and a little shop come takeaway, a restaurant, whatever. Fill up our bikes. Now you're so cold, you're shivering, you can't get your tank open, and I decided right there and then, look, I'm going to change. I'll open up and get out dry clothes, and I'll start putting on dry shirts, and whoever sees this skinny little white body, well, tough on them. I am ice cold. This is how cold I was. Those of you who know me as a little bit of a coffee snob. There's certain brands of coffee I won't put my lips to. I can't say what I call it because I could offend some people who like that particular brand. But it's so cold. We go to this restaurant and I order coffee thinking I'm going to get at least a cup, half decent cup of filter coffee. And they say no. But I'm standing and I'm literally shaking like this, as is everyone else. And all they got is this particular brand of coffee. I battle to say coffee because it's just chicory mixed with other stuff. But they call it coffee. And that's all there is. But lo and behold, I am so cold, so cross with myself for not listening, that in that moment of weakness, I say, yes, even that I will have as long as it is warm. And they bring this out, and it's steaming, and it's hot, and it tastes vile, but at least it warmed me up a little bit. So because I didn't listen, because I heard the voice that said, put on your rain suit, because of that, and the result thereof, this absolute flooding of my life and the bike, I had to not only get cold, I not only had to shiver and go into muscular spasm, I had to drink the most vile form of coffee ever, all because I did not listen to the inner voice. People, that's how God talks to us. That's how God warns us, God guides us. That's where God sets the moral standard for us to follow. And we need to learn to listen so we can spare ourselves tragic stories, bad news, disappointments, whatever. I just want to urge you, the next time you hear that voice, obey. And because of your obedience, there will be blessing. You would save yourself so much trouble. God loves you. That's why He talks to you. All we've got to do is learn to listen to that voice. Thanks for joining us. Please share. Please like our page. Please do all of those things. See you on Sunday, 9:30. Going to be good to meet with you. Have an awesome day further.